Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semi-finals or semi-finales here of the Sparkling Tuna Cup number 111. Again, it's been a bit of a shorter, bit of a faster broadcast so far, but despite that, some amazing games, some fun matches here. We are ready for some more PvP action. Let's go, baby, let's go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Protoss. We have the the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is a NightMare. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss we have representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our PvP. Let's go. And again, we're able to experience Pylon for one of the last times here. We did mention this earlier this morning, if you weren't here for it. The new map pool. The new map pool is on the horizon. The Team Liquid map contest results are going to be coming in this week, over the next couple of days, maybe even later on tonight. There's a reason why we were talking earlier about how there were some changes made to 10,000 feet that we did notice, and those changes are because we're about to, the maps are about to be finalized. They're about to be finalized to be a part of the new map pool. We don't yet have confirmation as to which maps will be there, but we have heard that we're getting a full set of 9 maps, a full set of 9, not like a mixture of like 7 and 2 or like another kind of variation. Looks like we're getting a full set of 9 fresh maps from the TLMC map contest. I did mention this previously. My concern is kind of how the map pool is constructed, specifically referring to there being too many large maps, whether there's too many large and not enough smaller and not enough more aggressive maps. So I'm a little bit concerned about the balance of that aspect of things, just because there were so many large maps submitted to the TLMC 21 map contest. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll reserve my concerns until we finally do get the map pool confirmed. And again, that'll be in a couple of days' time. Oh boy. So we get to experience maps like Pylon while we can. Again, this is one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool so far. Pylon block here. Shameless did open up 2-gate opener out of Shameless. 2-gate opener out of NightMare. Blackbear's 2-gate opener out of Shameless as well. One initial opener though, it is going to be a Sentry Stalker from our blue Protoss and a Stalker Adept out of our red Protoss. Here we go. Also, the fact that 10,000 feet got updated, I'm pretty sure confirms that 10,000 feet is going to be a part of the map pool. But we already kind of knew that. Like, 10,000 feet got a lot of really high ratings, of course, when it came to the judging process, and I felt like it should be a sure thing in. There are certain maps like 10,000 feet, like Mothership, and even Celestial Enclave that we assume are going to do well. The others, we'll see. I don't know what the public was thinking. I don't know what maps people were looking at, especially. I'm still a little bit concerned about White Rabbit making it through. I'm still a little bit concerned, just because it's got that nostalgic aesthetic, advantage. But we'll see. Meanwhile, we do fully wall up. Nice setup here. Yeah, very nicely done. Adept does go down. Shameless does defender. Both players going for their Twilight Councils. Both players are going to be setting up and getting ready for their tech of choice for Blink. So we're taking up. There's no Stargate. There's no Oracle Harass. No shenanigans like that. Oh, hello. Speaking of shenanigans, though, Proxy Pylon, Proxy Gateway. Shameless, he doesn't stick around, so it looks like he's not going for the Proxy Dark Shrine at least, but he is being cheeky nonetheless with an extra gateway to harass, to reinforce across the map. Shameless. Outside of that, we are going to be settling in. Ooh, so okay, so 3 gates. So 3 gates back at home, 1 gateway across the map, 4-gate Blink. 4-gate Blink Stalker, Hyper Aggression out of Shameless, and we'll see if NightMare plays it safe. Now, NightMare is going for a Robo before expanding. True, so he's playing safe. This does mean early observers, earlier Immortal production as well. Is still expanding though, so there's a bit of a give and take here. He's going to have less gateways, less warp-ins, less army units. The Robo does mean that he can warp in Immortals to defend, but he doesn't know he has to defend. Is the problem right now. He sees! Wow, he sees, he saw, he gets eyes on the gateway. He didn't confirm the 4th gateway at least, but he's aware that he's in danger, and we should be starting those Immortals soon. Third base on the way. Shameless, he is moving out. Here come the Warpins. That's it, third base gets spotted. Shameless is aware of the third. And we're just taking up. Yeah, we're taking up. I'm curious if Shameless knows he got scouted. That's what I'm curious by. Just because we have the Forge on the way, third base on the way. It looks like Shameless, he is building up into a macro game. So he's going to be skipping Warpins and not being anywhere near as aggressive. Still moving out. And we'll see if we can cause a distraction for the Adepts. Speaking of distraction, NightMare gets across the map. Adepts are getting caught, but they're again distracting Shameless, keeping him busy. Shameless, he gets one. Gets one. Shameless will push here on the right hand side. Proxy is being shut down. Adepts are shading in. And NightMare's got his first Immortal. Again, with the help of the Immortal, he should be able to defend. And Moore's lacking a little bit behind as Force Fields. Adepts do shade into the middle line, but once again, NightMare, he's in position. He's ready. NightMare, he defends a natural, he defends his third. Chasing the Stalkers. Leaving out only 3 probes. Oh, has to be careful. Does overextend for a moment. Nice chase though. Does punish more Stalkers. Shameless is taking his fourth, so we're calming things down. Both players are taking up. We have Charge on the way. We have +1 on the way. Shameless is slightly ahead in terms of those upgrades. But NightMare has been having better trades, and likewise still has his Immortals. Still has that Immortal lead. But for now, we're pulling away. We're expanding. We're calming things down. We'll see who's going to be aggressive first. You can see Shameless is posturing. He's got his Prism on the way, +2 as well. NightMare still waiting for his upgrades. Once Charge finishes, then he can move out. Then he can be active. As he's refining his army even further, working towards Archons as well. So he's making the full switch into Charge of Archon. So Shameless. Shameless a little bit late with his Templar Archives. That's a bit of a concern. So Shameless, he does not have access to Archons. Speaking of, here they come for NightMare. Templar Archives just now on the way for Shameless. So again, late Archives, late Archons. The role of Archons in PvP is to be the splash damage against Charge Lots. Charge Lots are a big part of mid-game PvP. As you can see here, that's a lot of Zealots, a lot of Charge Lots. The answer to that is Archons. As they can tank, and they can dish out a lot of splash damage. And again, that's something that Shameless's army is lacking. So he has to be so careful with how he engages. If he just A moves in, like, he will lose so many of these Zealots. He has to respect the Archons, as we have 4 Archons now for NightMare. So again, I would say the quality of NightMare's army is better. But Shameless, he has a bit of a more mobile composition, and he can try to outmaneuver, outposition. I think he has 1 Archon himself. Yeah, he's got 1. let's go. Does hit the third. Army is moving in. So far, the Archons do lead the charge. They're going to be focused down. Oh. Yeah, Zealots are choked up. There's so many Zealots just not doing anything. And they collapse on the Archons. With that, we have more reinforcements on the way. Shameless going to be trying to push in. Shield Baby's out of energy. And in the end, are there barely enough Zealots? NightMare's holding. Yeah, NightMare, he's holding on. The Prism is going to get sniped, but the Immortals can just go ham here on these Stalkers. And the Archons survived. Look, we still have 4. There's still 4 Archons up and running. NightMare shuts down the army. He's going for the counterattack. Yes, he will lose 15 probes. A lot of workers did go down, but that doesn't matter because the army is heavily in favor of NightMare. As we mentioned, did have the better army. Unfortunately, we spoke earlier how Shameless has to be careful with his army positioning, and we saw just so much wasted DPS there. There were so many Zealots just choked up in the middle line that weren't attacking. They were just bugging out here in the middle line instead. Again, wasting damage. Now building up to 6 Archons. And NightMare, he should soon counterattack. Now he's just waiting for extra warp ins. Now moving out. And again, Shameless is still stuck with a very cheap army. Oof. And again, this army is so prone to clumping up against the Archons. As the base is going to go down. NightMare kites back. Shuts down the Zealots. Going for another warp in, but again, NightMare, he's just mowing his way through this army. GG gets called, and NightMare, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played, and NightMare, he'll take a lead in this series. Again, Shameless, he was holding his own for the most part when it came to the bases, but when it came to the tech, when it came to the quality of that army, that's where he did lag behind. Again, he was so heavily reliant on mass Zealots, and that can work really well if your opponent is late to tech up, but we saw that NightMare, he was much faster to get into his Temple Archives, much faster to get into his Archons. He had 4 Archons ready for the fight, and I think he may have lost 1, if not none, if not 0 Archons in that main fight, in that main engagement at his 3rd base. As the fight did swing heavily in favor of NightMare. GG. GG, well played. It's also possible that maybe Shameless, the reason why he went into so many Zealots was that maybe he assumed that NightMare was going to go for an earlier push, an earlier move out. So he was getting ready to maybe like collapse and engulf the army of NightMare. Unfortunately, NightMare, he was just chilling, right? He was just chilling back at home. He was just happy to just slowly tech up, slowly build up, and refine his composition. And it meant that the mass Zealot army of Shameless, it kind of got outscaled. To get outscaled. And here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone, leading the series 1-0. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss for Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. The low gas style never seems to work in PvP, especially if you're as passive as Shameless was most of the game. I think it's very important that you added that like caveat at the very end, is that it doesn't seem to work if you're passive. I think a good example of someone that does love going for that style that does make use of it really well is Christiana. If you watch Christiana in PvP, he's very fond of staying on a low gas style, going into mass Zealot, and being very, very precise and very crisp when it comes to his timing to hit the 3rd base before the opponent is really ready with their tech. But you're correct in saying that like you're on a bit of a timer, right? You're on a timer, like you gotta have that killer instinct to hit soon before your army just loses that value, right? But Cristiano, he's very fond and very strong at that style. The other top Protosses, the other Korean Protosses, they like to mix it in, but they don't rely on it. So referring to players like Hero, players like Classic, even players like NightMare as well, they do embrace it every now and then. Here we go. But as I mentioned, it felt like maybe Shameless just assumed that NightMare was going to push into him, as you mentioned. Like it felt like he was like assuming that that NightMare was going to be more aggressive than he was. So now, 2-gate opener. 2-gate opener out of Shameless. Likewise, 2-gate opener out of NightMare. Opening up Stalker Adept and Stalker Sentry. Okay, so Shameless going for a bit of a more macro opener. A little bit safer play, I should say. NightMare is going to be slightly more aggressive. Here we go. So now NightMare is taking his natural. Okay, so Shameless. We're assuming that we're going to head into standard tech structures into our Twilight Councils, but we'll see if either one does deviate. We'll see. I see that does threaten the shade. So far, it does not get in. Pulling back, likewise, both players going for their Twilight Councils, getting into Blink. Building up. So far, Blink's on the way for NightMare. We should be seeing the same from Shameless. There we go. It's likewise on the way. And welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the larger maps of the map pool. Larger map, a longer rush distance by ground, much more defensive as well. I don't really know how much that really impacts PvP though. I mean, it's larger, so we do expect to see longer games on this map, typically. Because it's so large, honestly, it's a very common map to proxy. We've seen a lot of proxies, especially here at the hybrid base locations, outside of the main bases as well, especially amongst the Korean Protosses, specifically players like Zaun, players like Classic. But so far, the PvPs tonight have been a lot more tame. A lot more tame. Not just this one, but even Rebellion series earlier. Now our players are working towards their third bases, and we're settling in towards the mid game. So we're calming down, building up. We'll see how Shameless does adjust his approach. I should also mention that against Rebellion, he also went for a very Stalker-heavy composition as well. I'm not saying that he has to kind of pin himself or pen himself in a corner, that he can only play, you know, Gasless Mass Zealot or anything like that. He is willing to vary it up. NightMare does initially move out. NightMare with a slight army supply lead. Just poking in. Once again, Shameless does have the faster upgrade. A +1 has already begun. That's a sentry. Oh, not quite. There we go. Sentry goes down. Nice. Force fields catching a Stalker as well. So Sentry, Stalker, and a Pylon. Overall better trades for NightMare. Wow, once again, out positioning Shameless. Shameless getting stuck here. Yeah, what, 3-4 Stalkers not doing anything. Pushing into the Protoss, pushing into NightMare, snipes the Robo as well. Ay, ay, ay. Boys are being fooled. And again, NightMare, who was only up by, what, was it 1 Stalker and 1 Sentry, does recall. I can't remember what the recall's brutal. Yeah, brutal recall bleeds out a lot of Stalkers. And look at the trades here. That was 8 Stalkers going down. So NightMare, he lost 8 Stalkers. Was able to kill 6 probes, 2 sentries. Right now, NightMare, he's vulnerable to a counterattack. Was this worth it? Well, he did snipe the Robo. True. Snipe the Robo, denies any immortal production, and he's getting his own. And the aggression does not end. Yeah, FSA shade into the natural, more probes are going down. And it isn't just about the economic damage, this is also keeping Shameless busy, while NightMare reinforces. Again, NightMare, he does have a smaller army. Right now, he is vulnerable to a head-on fight, but he's buying time for more warpins, and more importantly, buying time for the Immortals. Immortals that Shameless does not have. So that was a risky maneuver out of NightMare. that was very risky, but again, his control was on point. Very nice control, very nice engagements, did out position, and in the end, it looks like it was worth it, as Shameless is unable to punish. And there's going to be a bigger power spike available here for NightMare, assuming that he continues Immortals. We'll see. Shameless taking his 4th base. NightMare has yet to do so. Going for the Warp Prism. Typically, the Warp Prism indicates that NightMare is going to be pushing. Let's go. NightMare checking with the 4th. Stalkers move out. Armor gets spotted. And here comes the Prism. Here comes the move out. So again, NightMare is being so much more aggressive here, choosing not to expand, warping in extra Zealots. As more Zealots are warping in. Upgrades are about to even up with +1. When it comes to the armies, in favor of NightMare. Guess on top of the Nexus. Shows those force fields. Zealots here to engage. Ooh, Prism goes down. No micro. Yeah, no micro potential. The Archon's going to be targeted down as well. Archon does fall. And NightMare is breaking through. Yeah, NightMare, he is barely breaking through here. We need those reinforcements. Getting on top of those Zealots. Boys are being pulled. It's getting close. Yeah, it's getting so close here. Zealots are reinforced just in time. The mineral line is going to go down. Nice kiting here with the Zealots. The Immortal does back off in time. Just barely. Shameless is holding on, takes out the Immortal. Whew. Yeah, Shameless holds. The Immortal gets sniped to the Prism as well. NightMare will lose everything, and Shameless, he will save the expansion. The 4th base is saved. It did lose a bunch of workers, that is true, but hey, he can rebuild. He can rebuild, he can replenish. Important fight there for Shameless. Likewise, +2 also kicked in time. And NightMare, that's a rough 4th base. Rough timing for the 4th. NightMare, he admits that he can no longer kill Shameless. He's like, yeah, GG. GG gets called. Shameless ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. Let's go. Whew. GG, well played. We're going to the ace match here. Again, Shameless +2 was able to kick in. Likewise, defend his advantage. He could pull the boys. Yes, Shameless lost a lot of workers, but he could afford it. He could afford to lose his workers. It didn't matter as much to lose his mineral line. With that, Shameless was able to hold on. And GG. We're going to game 3. And we'll see how the story ends. Let's go. As we, oh my god, what were the vetoes, Pappy? As we are loading into Torches, this is typically one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool, one of the lesser seen maps as well. Aggression is favored here and does have some unique features. We have, of course, the healing pad, we have the goal bases, we have the short rush distance by air. Because that short rush distance, something like Stargate play can be favored here on this map as well. We have multiple goal bases, you can open up the center of the map. We'll see how our players will approach this. Oh boy. I'm ready. Spawning in the top right hand corner. In the top right hand corner here of Torches, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Streamer Zone and being forced into the ace match. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss, the blue Protoss player himself representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. Let us go. See in the chat. Ah, no. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? TRZY is saying, watching these streams makes me want to reinstall StarCraft 2. No. Again, is that a good thing or a bad thing, Pappy? I mean, StarCraft 2 is fun. It's fun. It's competitive. As long as you engage with it in a healthy way, of course. Like, the smooge can be real. definitely can be, yeah, for sure. No. But you can always get back into it, man. True. Get back into the ring. Hello. As a Shameless going to be moving out across the map with, I believe, proxy pylon. Yep, the probe does hide here off the left-hand side. Does go for a 2-gate opener. Meanwhile, we have the low ground setup here from NightMare, going gate, cyber into either expansion or into his tech of choice, into a Stargate. Meanwhile, my eyes are on this pylon. It's a little bit further back. So initially he was set up here in the center. This would have been a prime location for a proxy robo. By throwing it down a little bit further away, we'll see if it's still going to be the robo or something else. Technically, it could just be, yeah, proxy Stargates. It's a bit of an awkward position for it. Typically, you want it closer to the bases, so this is further away. But this also means that there's less of a chance to get scattered. So proxy Stargate, another one base all in. This is to harass, deal economic damage, and to build up in towards the mid game. Meanwhile, NightMare, he's scouting, checking the left-hand side, checks the center goal base. As I mentioned, this is a lot more common. And it looks like he... Oh, will he scout? Barely not. Yeah, barely doesn't scout. Ay. Pylon is going to be kept hidden. NightMare's playing it safe. Shield battery. Did go for the Nexus. And, oh, he gets faked out here. It's going for a Robo after the Nexus. Very safe build that will not help as much against the Stargate. So again, NightMare going for a robo response. This is meant to hard counter. I say hard counter. It's meant to be shutting down an all-in, a one-base all-in. As we can see, Shameless doesn't really intend to go for an all-in. So this will favor Shameless. Oracle's going to be on the way, and Shameless should expand. And there's the Nexus. Oracle's moving in. Nexus on the way. It's fun when you win. It can be fun when you lose as well. As the Oracle dips in. Gets 3 pro kills, not bad. Adepts, they do push towards a natural. But so far there's a full wall. There's a full wall off. Bearing in mind that NightMare, he does have the faster natural base, so he should be able to build up into a greater economy. He should, but he just lost 4 probes. Likewise, Adepts are going for the shield battery. Oh, battery does survive. Oracles, they go back in, they get another probe. And NightMare is struggling. As we're still not done, getting another 3 worker kills. Shameless popping up. And even though Shameless had the later expansion, Shameless, he is up in workers. He's up by 6. Up by 6 probes. Blink is on the way. Remember, it was a robo opener, so tech-wise, NightMare is behind. Sure, he has early immortals, but the early immortals don't really matter here unless he turns this into an all-in. Meanwhile, the Oracles are still alive. They're still active. Here we are again, once again rotating into set main. So far, NightMare, he's in position. Right now, we're keeping an eye on the gateway counts here to see how hard, or if NightMare does commit on 2 bases or if he expands. Shameless so far in a better position. With Blink, Shameless, he can be more active and he can just contain, right? It'll be so difficult for NightMare to expand. Shameless is not being active. Blink is done in 10 seconds. Let's go. Blink is ready. One behind, Dark Shrine. Okay. We're going for DTs. Stalkers, they blink over the wall. Dark Shrine is on the way. Meanwhile, Shameless going for his faster third. Now, technically, there is no detection. As you can see here, Shameless is cutting corners. He's going for a third base before Robo. So true. Bear that in mind. So Shameless is cutting corners. Currently, there is 0 detection. I mean, I guess I say 0. The Oracles, true. Like, they do allow for that. Assuming they don't get sniped. Assuming. Jeez. Calm down, Papi, calm down. Gets Revelation, does not get behind the mineral line. Be careful, Papi, be careful. Shameless, he's rotating back in. We'll see if NightMare can snipe. Dark Shrine is finishing up. And we can soon warp in those DTs. Shameless throwing down stasis traps. Prism into the main. Prism gets in. Warp winds are not seen. DTs a one-shot workers. And he gets in. Yeah, he gets in. Probes are going to be going down at the same time. Stalkers are getting across the map. They deny the third. And the Oracles, they have plenty. Yeah, they have NG. They have plenty of NG here. We get the Master Revelation. And DTs are cleaned up. Not without killing 7 probes, though. Not bad. 7 probes go down. And NightMare is going to be expanding here on the right-hand side. The Stalkers were in position, but Shameless, he ran back home because of the Dark Templar. Their base is getting up. Shameless is still ahead. 7 probes did fall, that is true, but despite that, Shameless is still up in workers. He still has that third base over his opponent. Shameless is still in a better position, at least economically. Now, NightMare, what does he have going for him? Because it was a Robo opener, the Immortal count, right? He has 4 Immortals. In a head-on fight against a heavy Stalker army, NightMare will have the advantage. I will say this is a little bit on Shameless, as it was on him to delay the third a little bit longer, and he could have. So one Oracle goes down. On NightMare, he's slowly getting his third base. Oh. NightMare is moving out. He's getting up the ramp. Shameless out of position completely. Uh oh. Not like this. Shameless is out of position. The Immortals, they get on top of the ramp. Sentries are ready. Force fields as well. Shameless, where are we going? Oh no. He's going for the late base trade. Not like this, Bobby. Not like this. The Natural's going to go down. And NightMare pushes up the ramp in towards the main. And Shameless, he's so late to the base trade. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this, Papi. He was in a good position. Their base goes down. The main is falling here for Shameless. Ay, ay, ay. And he's getting there. Pushing into the Natural. Yeah, it does push in. Flicks forward. Depower some of the gates. Gets into the mineral line. Charge is going to be denied. Now, at least Shameless does have more bases. He has more expansions. Likewise, NightMare does he evacuate. Probes are being hunted down. Oof. He has them. the probes are in the prism. They're in the war prism. He's got him. Yeah, it does have his workers. NightMare, he can't afford Nexi. He can't afford them. Oh, there are some stasis traps. Okay, can he bait him in? Here we get one. One stasis does land. The others get spotted. There's still one more, and again is spotted by the Observer. Shameless is racing back home. When it comes to the main fight, we have an almost equivalent Stalker count. But again, there's 4 Immortals here for NightMare. In a head-on fight, I have to favor the Red Protoss. I have to favor NightMare. The boys are being pulled. Stalkers, they do snipe the Prism. Prism goes down, but we have 4 Immortals. Yeah, the Immortals, they just go to town. Oh my god. They shut down the Stalkers. Greater Concave as well. GG gets called, and NightMare, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. NightMare, he will claim the series. Again, Shameless, he had a very nice start. He was up when it came to his third base timing, when it came to his economy, when it came to his map control, but there were a couple of key moments here for NightMare, like the DT harass, not just harassing, but also forcing Shameless back home, allowing NightMare to take his third base, and of course the main push right down the center of the map. The Immortal lead did of course come into play as NightMare took control of the ramp, and Shameless went for a delayed base trade, was stuck at his third base, again was out of position. GG, well played. And with that, congratulations, NightMare, he does advance on, and Shameless is knocked out in the semis, and now we're getting ready for the upper semifinals. Let's go.